change. That's going to be our agenda for the next 2 years.
Okay, it seems that's what the voters want tonight. Senator Bob Dole, thank you very much for being with us, sir.
Thank you.
Tom?
The tug of war begins already for those parole voters because they could be a pivotal group in the next couple of years or so. We want to show you what the electoral vote is right now. Bill Clinton is tantalizingly close, just 5 votes away from 270. George Bush is way back with 64. He hopes to crack 100 before the night is out. Ross Perot still no electoral votes. Here are the states that are still too close to call. They're big states, and any one of them would put Bill Clinton over the top easily. There's the popular vote. First of all, we're now more than half, and George Bush has more than half of the vote that has been counted thus far. That will likely change once you get to California, for example, and we complete the vote count in places like Oregon and Washington, where Bill Clinton is believed to be running strongly. Here it is in Texas, however. 47% of the vote has been counted. Bill Clinton has a lead of 2 percentage points. If George Bush loses Texas, that means that he loses Texas, Connecticut, and Maine. All 3 of those places have been his home states. In Florida, his own son was the Republican state chairman there. 48% of the vote has been counted. George Bush with just a very narrow lead of 32,000 votes over Bill Clinton. Ross Perot running at the 20% level. In North Carolina, more than 2/3 of the vote has been counted so far. And look, this could hardly be any closer. There's about a 6,600 vote difference between them right now. 43%, a flat tie. We'll be back with more on Decision 92 right after this.
When we get some returns from California, Washington, and Oregon before we're going to know who the next president is, let's go to Charlie Carroll. Charlie, you've been very patient. Question arises, do we ask too much of our presidents?
Dan, we have been out and around naturally tonight asking voters what they'd like to say to the next president. These folks were in Los Angeles.
Get our jobs back. Get the people back to work.
Don't get conned by the politicians. Don't get conned by special interests.
Balance the budget.
Turn the economy around. Follow your heart. Do right by the people.
Dan, you will notice that all those voters are expecting a lot. We voted for you, didn't we? Now you fix the country up. There is a wide gap in this country between what we...
Very sorry. Forgive me for interrupting. Ohio falls for Bill Clinton. According to our CBS News estimate, that's it. Game, set, match. It's over. We will have a new president of the United States. CBS News has never been wrong in making one of these calls in a presidential race. Underscore the word never. Our CBS News estimate is that with Ohio, these are live pictures from Little Rock, Arkansas, where the word will spread faster than gossip in a small town, that Ohio has dropped for Clinton. Bill Clinton will be the new president of the United States. Al Gore will be the new vice president of the United States. We estimate, look at the map now, everything in blue belongs to Bill Clinton. 286 electoral college votes at a rot-gut minimum. George Bush has 64 electoral votes so far. Still a long way to go. Florida and Texas among the many states still out, and there's 10 or 12 minutes before the polls close in Washington, Oregon, and California, among others. Now, Charlie, I'm very sorry to have interrupted you over there. I think you'll agree that for the Ohio call and putting Clinton over the top, it was something we needed to do so. We'll be right back. Clinton, go or win, there will be a new president of the United States. Dan Rather, CBS. We'll be right back. Stay here with us.
The results are in. In a nationwide survey, Century 21 was rated #1 in all 12 categories, from most professional to best at selling homes. Choose the one voted #1 by a landslide. Century 21.
In a world of sweeping changes, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the Prudential, rock solid in securities, insurance, and real estate.
No one has to tell you that doing business today is more challenging than ever. But all over the world, one company is helping you meet those challenges head on, no matter what it takes. New challenges, new thinking.
The Carlsons have always loved Trident. They love how it won't stick to their dental work. But since they've discovered our new Winter Fresh flavor, things have cooled off considerably. That is, at least as far as their breath is concerned. Because after all, when your mouth feels cooler, your breath feels fresher. So try new Winter Fresh Trident, a cooler flavor for fresher breath.
#1 for a second term. That's what homeowners said when asked who was the most preferred real estate sales organization in America. Century 21. So if you're watching tonight's numbers, remember who's #1 by a landslide. Century 21.
What is breakfast for your head?
It's your health with Dr. Bob Arnott.
The economy with Robert Krulwich.
Your money with John Stair.
The movies with Gene Siskel.
Consumer news with Hattie Kaufman.
And the weather with Mark McEwen. Join Harry Smith and Paula Zahn on CBS This Morning.
It's breakfast for your head.
Bill Clinton, Albert Gore, homesteading on cloud 9 now. They will be the new president and vice president. They're virtually assured of going well over 300 electoral votes. Will they approach or get over 400? Stay tuned to CBS.
This is CBS. KOIN TV's election night coverage is brought to you in part by these proud sponsors: Soloflex, Shiloh Inn, and the Oregon Lottery.
Good evening and welcome back to Newsroom 6, Campaign 92 coverage. I'm Shirley Hancock.
And I'm Mike Donahue. We'll get to some election news in a moment, but first we want to bring you a bulletin on a news story that we've been following for the last few days here in Newsroom 6.
We just got some late information, another bizarre twist tonight in the story of a series of reported hate crimes in southeast Portland. Police in Clackamas County say Azalea Cooley tried to kill herself today by cutting her arm with a razor. Cooley is the woman, of course, who was thought to be a victim of 20 hate crimes over the last 6 months.
Last Sunday, though, police say somebody from inside Cooley's house staged a hate crime, a cross burning. Cooley is expected to live from her attempted suicide this evening. Her roommate, Susan Sowen, is charged with filing a false police report. We'll have more on that story as we get more details. First, we want to now bring you up to date as we can on the election. Of course, CBS, based on the electoral votes from Ohio, they've put Clinton over the top. They have now declared Bill Clinton winner and next president of the United States.
And Ohio was the state that just put him over the top. We're going to go now to Lisa Balick, who's at the local Clinton headquarters, where they're celebrating. I don't know if we can say it just begun. They're pretty confident over there, right, Lisa?
Surely they are ecstatic here. It's a big, exciting night for them. As you can hear behind me, Senator Bill Bradbury here is the Oregon co-chair of the Clinton campaign. Bill, how's it feel tonight?
It feels absolutely marvelous. I think the new president has a mandate. He has a mandate to put the people first and change things and put our country back to work. And it's just so exciting in this room to feel the victory that's taking place in this country right now.
Senator Bradbury, you were one of the first people to sign on when there was a whole host of Democrats who were in the primary. You were the early one to sign on with the governor, Governor Clinton, that is. Did you feel there was ever a time when he wasn't going to make it?
I think all of us had our doubts and our concerns during the New Hampshire primary when he was hit with body blow after body blow. He survived those. It strengthened him for the general very clearly, and I think that's one of the reasons he's the victor tonight, is because nobody could run a whole bunch of negative nonsense on him. He was successful because he had a plan for America, and he could promote that to the people.
How do you feel about him winning right now, or the projected winner, without even counting the Oregon vote yet?
Well, it's close enough to the polls closing here that I don't think we've had a significant impact on turnout here in Oregon. I think it makes sense that he would win soon because he's got a clear, strong mandate from this country to change the way things are.
Okay, thanks very much, Senator Bill Bradbury, one of the early people to sign on. to Senator Clinton. Now we're going to go ahead and throw to Eric Mason, who is over at the Bush campaign. Eric?
Lisa, they've stopped watching the numbers and they started eating the food and talking about life under a Democratic president. Joining me now is the vice chair of the Republican Party in Oregon, Clarice Poppert, excuse me, and you've pretty much said at this point that it's over.
It is. We just look at CNN, and they projected 286 electoral votes, with several states left to count.
What do you think a Democratic president will do in Oregon?
Well, it's not going to be what he's going to do in Oregon, but what he's going to do nationally. And my concern is what it's always has been is what is he going to do in his taxing policy? You know, Oregon is made up of 80% of our employers are small employers, and if taxes go out of the roof, it's going to really affect us as small employers.
What do you think his policies will mean for the timber industry, vital industry in the state of Oregon?
Well, I hope it's more than what the timber people feel. They're very concerned about his environmental record and shutting down the timber industry completely.
Clarence Poppert, thanks very much for joining us. At this point, the party is pretty much resigned to the people here talking about what's going to happen next. And we're going to Ken Boddy next to hear what he's got to say.
Well, Eric, most of our viewers have seen Ross Perot already give his concession speech and acknowledge the fact that, according to what many of the polls are saying right now and the projections, that Bill Clinton will be the next president. Of course, that's not official yet until all the electoral votes come in. But these people here at Ross Perot headquarters are not sad. They really think that they accomplished something with that campaign. And here to talk a little bit about that is Scott Keller, who was one of the original petitioners to get Perot on the ballot here. What's your feeling now? It looks like Mr. Perot will end up with about 16, 17% of the popular vote. Do you think that's a victory in a sense?
I think it's a victory because Perot has gotten the attention of the American public and has actually explained the problems in a clear, concise manner. So that is a victory.
What's going to happen with the Perot supporters now? Obviously, this is not the end, and even Mr. Perot said that he might be around if you want him in 1996.
I don't think there's any question about Ross Perot being around in 4 years. Tonight, we have the opportunity to actually start in motion if there is a 20% presidential vote for Ross Perot in the state of Oregon to create the Independent Initiative Party here in the state, and it will create a major political party.
Does that mean that there might be Independent Initiative Party candidates in major races in Oregon in the future to challenge the traditional two-party candidates?
The field's wide open. Ross Perot was an independent candidate. It was on a national level. I don't see why not. I don't see why there wouldn't be state and actual county people to run.
Now, even if he does not get that 20% in Oregon to get that major party status, there will still be a meeting of the Independent Initiative Committee to determine strategy in the future, even if you fall below 20%. Is that not right?
Correct. That is correct.
How's the enthusiasm for that?
The people who are involved, and I would assume people who are going to become involved, the same kind of energy is going to be behind the movement that was before. I mean, it just, goes up and down, way with all large volunteer organizations.
All right. Well, thank you. Scott Keller, who was one of the petitioners to get Mr. Perot on the ballot. There's still a party down here. These people claim a sort of victory just because of the showing that their candidate made nationally. Back to you, Mike and Shirley.
Thanks, Ken. And those people are determined to see their candidate back in a few more years.
And not to put the kibosh on Bill Bradbury's mandate, but it isn't even 50% of the vote yet, so we have a long way to go yet tonight before we can call him a mandate, and certainly not a landslide. But already our Newsroom 6 exit poll has some information on who is leading some of Oregon's top races.
That's right. Early exit poll information shows Bill Clinton leading the presidential race, and on ballot measure 9, the no on 9 has an edge. It is leading right now. Our exit polling, however, doesn't project a winner in either one yet.
And in the Bob Packwood-Lessa coin race, it is too close to call. Can you give us a little bit behind those numbers, Jim?
Well, actually, with the way the rest of the country is going, we're beginning to feel more and more comfortable with a Clinton win in Oregon. Once again, this is before any votes have been counted. It's simply from the exit poll. Measure 9, once again, I want to put out a lot of warning. This is something that people feel very strongly about, and they may not answer correctly we will definitely have to wait to see if our polling projection of a win for the no on 9 is held up by the county-by-county results.
We're looking here at a prediction estimate by the network that Clinton will win in Hawaii. I believe, I guess I shouldn't say that until I've actually confirmed that with our producer, but they may be predicting Oregon, a Clinton victory there as well. Yes, I'm told that is true. They are calling a victory for Clinton in Oregon based on very early returns and exit polls.
Yes. He is predicted a winner in Oregon.
This is the electoral vote as it stands. Of course, Clinton only needed 270. He now has topped that with 362.
Jim, have you had a chance to sit back and think of what a Clinton victory would mean for the state of Oregon?
Yeah, Bill Clinton, when he came through here, both in the primaries and running for the general election, made a variety of promises, not promises to give things to Oregon, but promises to deal with Oregon issues. We've seen, for instance, his promise to convene a meeting of the timber interests, the people who are working for the timber companies and environmentalists in kind of an upper-level, presidential-level group to deal with what happens with the timber industry, with the spotted owl, and an end to the timber industry as we know it. He's also made some promises having to do with fish. We've had a salmon summit in the past. So he will have a big effect on what happens in Oregon and the Northwest. This was a very important place for him.
We just learned that in this Year of the Woman, you're going to hear that phrase a lot tonight. Barbara Boxner and Dianne Feinstein have taken California. They will go to the
Here they're
Senate.
picking Patty Murray as the winner in Washington State, that she will go to the U.S. Senate, from the state Senate to the U.S. Senate in 2 years.
This is information from CBS you're seeing right now.
In a way, a winner in Hawaii, being reelected to a Senate term there.
And again, we want to repeat that Boxner, Feinstein, and Murray are projected to win.
Based on exit polls
that
have same kind of information that we have, right?
Exactly. Once again, we still have to wait to see what the precincts say, but the exit polling seems to indicate those victories at this point.
Okay. And we have already told you Measure 9 is leading based on our exit polls, and also Clinton has been declared the winner in Oregon based on exit polls.
Let's go to a break, and we'll get some more numbers to show you, so stick around.
How do you measure the warmth and sincerity of a smile or a feeling of true friendship? How do you express a dedication to cleanliness?
One of the big headlines tomorrow, of course, will be Bill Clinton elected president, but a sub-headline that is a big story today as well is apathy is dead, long live democracy. Voters have turned out in record numbers in many states, an enormous turnout all the way from Portland, Oregon to Portland, Maine.
And the polls opened on the East Coast 15 hours ago, and state after state reports a heavy, heavy turnout. Here in Oregon, with 3 more hours before the polls have closed. It's 6 minutes ago. Many counties were reporting long lines at the ballot box.
Be interesting to see the returns from Crook County, where they had a big turnout today. That's the last bellwether county in the nation. We want to see if they voted for Bill Clinton tonight, if they were on the right side again, as they usually are. Over at the Hilton Hotel, Eric Schmidt is holding forth with a couple of partisan politicians who are our commentators.
5 and Measure 6, which both deal with the Trojan nuclear power plant. Let's take a look at those results. Once again, the numbers we're looking at tonight are from Multnomah County, not key precincts, but early precincts. They're not representative of the county, but they're still important. They give us the first numbers that we can have tonight. We're going to take a look at Measure 5 and 6.
And you can see, Julie, the yeses. This might be somewhat of a surprise. It's very close, but the yeses edging the nose on ballot Measure 5, which would close Trojan immediately. Let's look at the companion measure, number 6, ban Trojan operation. And the yeses are leading here. But once again, we want to caution these are just early returns from Multnomah County.
Once again, let's take a look at the race for Portland mayor. We have projected that Vera Katz will be the winner tonight. Right now, we see her with 60% of the vote, but we are projecting that she is the winner with 59% of the vote, compared to Earl Blumenauer's 41%.
And we are expected to go to the Vera Katz campaign momentarily, but this is our first projection of the evening, and a very important one. Vera Katz will be our next mayor, according to Channel 2. Let's go back to the Senate race between Lessa KOIN and Bob Packwood. New numbers coming in on that as Multnomah County starts to tally up the vote, and of course, votes are coming in from across the state of Oregon. And there it is right there. KOIN with a wide lead over Bob Packwood here in Multnomah County as these early returns come into the Channel 2 newsroom. And let's check on an important measure tonight that everyone is following very, very closely. We're talking, of course, about ballot measure number 9, and the noes are leading there in ballot measure 9 as the early returns come into the Channel 2 newsroom.
Once again, we're going to take a look at the Portland mayor's race. We have projected that Vera Katz is the winner tonight, thanks to our political pollster, Tim, the winner, the next mayor of Portland, in one of the hotly contested mayoral races that we've seen.
Well, Sheila Hamilton is standing by with the Katz folks. And Sheila, have they heard the news, our projection?
They sure have heard the news here. We just had a big cheer from the crowd here from the projection of 69%. Vera Katz is upstairs watching the returns in her room, and she says she's not coming down for about another hour. But the crowd let up a big hoot here. The mayor's race, as you know, was about a 12-point spread just a couple of weeks ago, so those kind of numbers are looking very, very good for the campaign here. And I'm sure just as soon as Ms. Katz comes down, we'll have some good words to hear from her.
Okay, we'll be switching back to you, Sheila, and I'm sure you'll be talking to Vera Katz. Once again, Channel 2 is projecting Vera Katz will be the next mayor of Portland.
Let's take a look at some other numbers now. In some statewide measure races, of course, we focus on ballot measure 9, but some of the other ones. Ballot measure number 1, this is the state parks bonds measure. That's passing with almost 60% of the vote in Multnomah County. Measure number 2, the fuel tax, that's being defeated soundly, 60% of the vote. Now, how about ballot measure 3, term limit? Yes, overwhelming support for term limits. And ballot measure 4, the ban on triple trailers, being defeated. A lot of money was spent to defeat this, and it seems to be working tonight. 54.4% of the vote to ban triple trailers.
Let's check on the Trojan measures. First, measure 5, early returns showing voters are saying yes to that with the early returns. And measure 6, voters saying yes to both of the Trojan measures tonight with the early returns. Another race we want to check very closely, and from the state of Washington. And this is important. Washington State could be sending a woman to the U.S. Senate, but right now it looks like Patty Murray is losing to Rod Chandler in the Washington U.S. Senate race, and we are going to pay particularly close attention to that tonight.
Let's take a look at our Oregon Attorney General's race now. Ted Kulingoski, we are projecting him the winner. These are the early returns from Multnomah County, but we are able to make a projection tonight, and that is that Ted Kulingoski will walk away with 71% of the vote tonight, and Rich Rodman with 26%.
We're going to continue with some of the measures now. Measure 7, the split roll tax. And that was a very important one. A lot of money spent on that one by both sides. And here are the latest results coming in. Voters saying no to that. Polls showed that that will go down to defeat, but, you know, polls can be wrong. And measure 8, very important measure that took a backseat to a lot of other measures. Columbia Gillnet ban, voters saying no to measure 8 as the early returns come in.
ABC News has projected that Bill Clinton will take Oregon, and in Portland here, the Multnomah County results, Bill Clinton with 51.7% of the vote. What might be interesting in this tally is that Ross Perot has almost 20% of the vote.
And now we're going to check back to the Oregon U.S. Senate race, and we are going to watch this tonight. Early returns here in Multnomah County show that KOIN is beating Bob Packwood by a large, large margin. And let's go to Measure 9. The anti-gay ordinance, Measure 9, voters saying no to that here in Multnomah County. And we're going to switch now to reporter Michael Hanna, who's with the yes on 9 folks at OCA headquarters in Wilsonville. Michael?
Okay, hi, Jeff and Julie. We're here in Wilsonville, OCA headquarters. Tight security here tonight. Joining me, Lon Mabon, chairman of the Oregon Citizens Alliance, the organization which sponsored Measure 9. Some disappointment with this early return. 75%, at least in Multnomah County, so far saying no to Measure 9.
Yeah, we're hoping to get out of Portland with about 35%. If we can get those numbers up to that level, I think we have a chance of picking it up statewide. But if it stays at that rate, it's going to look pretty glim. But I think we'll pick it up.
Okay, your support traditionally does come from southern and eastern Oregon, some of the rural areas. But really, when we're talking about big numbers like this, do you have any hope holding out here tonight?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it depends on what happens in Gresham, Troutdale, what happens in Oregon City, Beaverton, Hillsborough. If we start picking up and winning those areas, we can pick up those numbers real quick and even it out.
Real fast, a projection then tonight? You've got a projection?
Oh, I'm still holding on. Yeah, I think we're going to win.
Okay, we're going to let you get out of here, back to your friends. Just a handful of the faithful here at OCA headquarters. In fact, about as many reporters as OCA supporters here. Still a glimmer of hope despite those early returns, Jeff and Julie.
And that small party may be due, in fact, to the fact that there is a security concern tonight over ballot measure 9, which, of course, has stirred so many emotions here in Oregon.
Absolutely. Julie, let's check in on the city commissioner's race here in Portland. Dick Vogle's old seat, Charlie Hales, Chuck Diamond. Charlie Hales.
By 10 or 15% in order for our coin to enjoy the coattail effect.
Exactly. The coattail effect, once again, is a very, very small if Clinton can carry off those early numbers. But remember, they're from primarily Democratic areas probably. That's why he has the big lead right now. If he can, we may see some coattails for a coin.
We want to take a look at the latest numbers in the Senate race. No, we're going to go to Houston, where George Bush is being introduced.
Listen, we got to get going. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, listen, you guys. Hey. Thank you very much. Look. Thank you so much. Well, here's the way I see it. Here's the way we see it, and the country should see it, that the people have spoken. And we respect the majesty of the democratic system. I just called Governor Clinton over in Little Rock and offered my congratulations. He did run a strong campaign. I wish him well in the White House. And I want the country to know that our entire administration will work closely with his team to ensure the smooth transition of power. There is important work to be done, and America must always come first. So we will get behind this new president and wish him well. And to all who voted for us, voted for me, here, especially here, but all across the country, thank you for your support. And we have fought the good fight, and we've kept the faith, and I believe I have upheld the honor of the presidency of the United States. And now I ask that we stand behind our new president, and regardless of our differences, all Americans share the same purpose, to make this, the world's greatest nation, more safe and more secure, and to guarantee every American a shot at the American dream. And I would like to thank so many of you who have worked beside me to improve America and to literally change the world. Let me thank our great Vice President, Dan Quayle. You know, in the face of a tremendous pounding, he stood for what he believes in, and he will always have my profound gratitude and certainly my respect. And I would like to salute so many that did special work. Rich Bond up at the RNC, Bob Teeter, who ran the campaign, Bob Mossbacher, our entire campaign team, and they've run a valiant effort in a very, very difficult year. And I also want to salute the members of the cabinet, all of whom have served this nation with honor, with integrity, and with great distinction. And I would like to single out two leaders who represent the ideals of the ideal in public service. Together they've helped lead the world through a period of unprecedented transition. I'm talking, of course, about my National Security Advisor, Brent Scowcroft, and Jim Baker, and my good friend and fellow Texan, our Secretary of State, Jim Baker. Finally, of course, I want to thank my entire family with a special emphasis on a woman named Barbara. She has inspired this entire nation, and I think the country will always be grateful. But tonight is really not a night for speeches, but I want to share a special message with the young people of America. I am absolutely... You see, I remain absolutely convinced that we are a rising nation. We have been in an extraordinarily difficult period, but do not be deterred, kept away from public service by the smoke and fire of a campaign year or the ugliness of politics. As for me, I plan to get, I'm going to serve and try to find ways to help people, but I plan to get very active in the grandchild business. And in finding ways to help others. But I urge you, the young people of this country, to participate in the political process. It needs your idealism, it needs your drive, it needs your conviction. And again, my thanks, my congratulations to Governor Clinton, to his running mate, Senator Gore, and my special thanks to each and every one of you, many of you who have been my side in every single political battle. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Always tough to lose. George Bush, who as a one-term president of the United States can list among his accomplishments as he and those who support him see them. He signed a new and important Clean Air Act into law. He helped get the free trade agreement, key with relations to Mexico, signed. Let's pick him up here once again. Is he saying something else to the mic? No, it's just pom-poms in the back, and it sounds like a little Mexican Tex-Mex music in the background. Certainly not Ross Perot's band. We're listing President Bush's accomplishments. Not only was he elected President of the United States, a tremendous accomplishment. In addition to the Clean Air Act, Free Trade Agreement, he signed the bill, Americans with Disabilities Act, to help people who are physically and mentally challenged. Yes, the Congress helped a lot, but he signed it into law. He was commander-in-chief in the Persian Gulf War, put together an unprecedented coalition of nations to counterattack Saddam Hussein. He was commander-in-chief during the war in Panama, the overthrow of Manuel Noriega. He was president. You can argue about how much he had to do with it, but he was president when communism collapsed and was the first American president in the post-communist era. All of those accomplishments by George Bush. Now, stay here with us for our CBS News election night coverage. A lot yet to be decided. We're going to be back very shortly.
Welcome back to Newsroom 6 in our coverage of Campaign 92. You just saw some comments from a defeated George Bush. He now becomes the 9th sitting president to be defeated in a general election.
And numbers, of course, are coming in now in our time zone. Here in Oregon, we are able to say that Clinton is leading in Oregon and will win in Oregon. But here's the big story of the night, the defeat of ballot measure number 9. We are saying that when all the votes are counted, measure 9 will lose. And these are some of the exit poll questions that were asked of voters today. Jim, can you give us a little bit of interpretation on what this here means?
Certainly, and remember, these are still from an early run. We'll get some final numbers as we go along in the evening. The way that you look at this is the yes votes on the left all add up to 100% of all the yes votes. The no votes add up to 100% of all the no votes. Notice that when we get to the higher income levels, people tended to vote against the ballot measure. Then there's that big 15,000 to 29,000 income range. What we see is, as middle America, the people who would have strong convictions, the people we would expect in the past to see vote with a George Bush, and they overwhelmingly went yes on this measure.
So that's based on income. That gives us one demographic indicator.
Right, right. When we look at some of the other demographic indicators, we also find some very interesting splits. For instance, on sex, when we look at the gender of people who voted no on 9, women tended to vote 55% on the no side. They were, of all the no votes, women were 55%. On the yes side, men were 57% of the total yes votes. So we see a definite gender difference that we'll also be looking for in some of the other races. That gender issue has become a very important one.
Income might also suggest education.
Yes, and on education, we find that the college-educated people pretty much made up the no vote, whereas those without a college education predominantly made up the yes vote. So we're seeing some very interesting demographics as we go through. Once again, these will become more clear as we go through the night.
About the education
right.
factor.
Notice the no vote split between no college and college, but on the yes vote, 2 to 1, no college education decided to go and vote for Measure 9.
Okay, we should repeat, based on exit polling, no on 9 is the winner. Let's go now to Sandy James, who is at the Yes on 9 headquarters in Wilsonville. Sandy, what's the reaction there?
Well, we have Lon Mabon here to talk with us right now, and we are projecting that the no on 9 will win. Mr. Mabon, are you willing to concede at this point?
No, not at all. We saw a major jump from the first polls that came in, the first results that came in from at about 25%, now up to over 40%. If that type of change continues to happen as we move away from the metropolitan areas, I think we have a very good chance of closing that gap and even winning.
Let me ask you this. If it does not, many of the people I spoke with said that it was the wording. It was too vague. I had a lot of people tell me they do not want special rights for homosexuals, but that they are concerned about people perhaps losing jobs. So they've been on the fence for a long time over this one. Will you come back? And if you do, will you reword this perhaps?
Well, if it closes to a very tight race and we just barely lose, we will definitely come back again in 2 years, and we will definitely reword the thing.
So do you think that also may have been the big problem, was the vagueness?
Well, I don't, again, know what the end result is going to be. I mean, we still may win this thing by 50% in one vote. And if that's the case, then, we don't think it's that vague, and neither do our lawyers think it's that vague. If they were able to make that a campaign issue and sell enough people to keep us from winning a majority on the thing, then, of course, we'll reword it so that they won't have that same campaign issue.
Let me ask you a little about security now. I know that's been a real concern. Your people are wearing bulletproof vests, I understand?
Yes, some of them are.
What are some of the other precautions? You are yourself right now?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell me about some of the other precautions you've taken?
Well, we had some security guards here, and we've had some surveillance equipment put in, and some of the local sheriff's department has helped out by having some police down here. We responded to their precautions and concerns, and basically are following their instructions.
If Measure 9 is defeated, are you as concerned about security or violence as if it were to have passed?
Probably not. If Measure 9 is defeated, they'll probably celebrate for a few weeks, and I'll be safe for that period of time. But, it's a shame that we even have to go through this kind of stuff in the democratic process, but, we do.
Thank you very much for your time.
Okay.
Back to you in the studio.
Sandy James with Lon Mabon at the Wilsonville headquarters of the OCA, the sponsor of ballot Measure 9. He's talking about a close race later on, but right now it's not close.
Again, Measure 9 has been defeated. Let's go ahead and take a look at the tabulated votes on Measure 9, the anti-gay rights measure. Yes votes, 27%, no votes, 73%, and this confirms our earlier exit polling, which projected Measure 9 would lose.
We're looking, of course, there at the popular vote, the tabulated vote, with only 5% of the precincts reporting. We suspect there is something of a celebration going on right now over at Montgomery Park. That is the headquarters for the no on 9 people, and with them is Marcia Coffey. Marcia, come in, please.
Hi, Mike and Shirley. I'm having trouble hearing you, but I can certainly tell you what's going on here. The crowd is going wild here at No on 9. They're so excited as they're hearing the numbers coming in against Measure 9 here at Montgomery Park. A big crowd here tonight. They're also excited about the fact that Governor Bill Clinton will be the next president, they are saying, because he did quite a bit to reach out for the gay vote. Now, as you know, the anti-gay measure, Measure 9, has sparked a lot of controversy, has been very emotionally charged. And for that reason, they have hired 10 private security guards to be here tonight, as well as 2 Portland police officers, but we haven't seen any trouble at all. And the main concern at this point is the vote. Measure 9 apparently going down to defeat tonight. With me here is Sherry Osier. She is the chair of the No on 9 committee. A big relief for you, Sherry?
So far, it's looking really good.
The poll said all along that Measure 9 was going to go down to defeat, but I know a lot of people in the gay community were afraid to believe those numbers. Isn't that right?
That's exactly right. We were concerned about whether or not people actually were being honest in the polls, and so we ran the campaign thinking that we were behind the whole way.
Measure 9 is very strongly worded. We have some other anti-gay measures in other states, but Measure 9 here in Oregon would call homosexuality a perversion, say that it's unnatural, that it's wrong. Do you think that's one of the main reasons why Oregonians are voting it down?
I think the people of this state understood that this would require discrimination, and people in the state aren't going to vote for something like that.
Now, of course, the OCA has said all along that if Measure 9 goes down to defeat, that Oregon will become a haven of sorts for homosexuals, and that we will see special rights for homosexuals. Is that just a scare tactic? Do you think more homosexuals will move into the state?
No, I don't think so at all. I think what is going to happen is there will really be a big relief in the people of this state, because we live in a state that's tolerant, and I think it says something for the people of this state.
All right, thank you very much. Sherry Osier here at the No on 9 campaign. Back to you.
Thank you, Marcia Coffey. Again, we were pointing out that our exit polls are saying it will be defeated when all the votes are counted.
Right. We're going to take a quick break right now, and when we come back, we're going to show you what happened at the Clinton camp in Little Rock, Arkansas, when President Bush conceded a few moments ago.
This is the local.
We couldn't put our finger on the problem, but the numbers told us that too many people who were shopping at Central Homes went away without buying a home. So we did a survey and found out that it was no different at other dealerships. But the shocking discovery was the reason why. People were walking out of Central Homes and other manufactured home retailers because of the attitude of some of the salespeople they had to deal with.
We were surprised and dismayed, but determined to do something about it.
And we have. Today at Central Homes, you will find only professional sales representatives who understand and believe that your satisfaction is their only concern.
It all begins with the process of finding out your wants and needs and determining the right house for you at the right price. And to assure that, we now offer over 85 styles and floor plans with unlimited ways to customize them. The new models feature high-pitched roofs, extended eaves, and attached garages. They look like site-built homes that cost much more. Prices at Central Homes range from $18,000 to $100,000.
As a licensed realtor, we can help you sell your present home in addition to purchasing a new or used manufactured home or property.
When you walk in, we won't pressure you, but we are pledged to do everything we can to see that you find the home you want at the price you want.
On top of that, Ann and I will spend time with you personally so we can help make everything go as smoothly as possible for you.
Professional transportation and installation is included with the price of the home. Plus, we check with you after you're living in the home to assure your complete satisfaction.
So if you want a new home that's large and luxurious at about 50 to 60% of the price of a site-built home, visit the new Central Homes.
Central Homes, homes with a heart.
At 285 South Pacific Highway in Woodburn.
Or phone 981-3141 for a free videotape that tells all about manufactured homes. That's 981-3141.
Okay, so far we know that Bill Clinton is winning in Oregon and that ballot measure 9 will lose. But there are a lot of other races to be decided.
Such as the U.S. Senate race, where Bob Packwood is hoping to hang on to his job. Right now, KOIN and Bob Packwood are neck and neck in that race, with 15% of the precincts reporting.
Let's look at the numbers now from Measure 9 from that particular race, which our exit polls say will defeat Measure 9 tonight. Right now, it's about 3-1 no's.
Who are Oregonians voting for president? Well, we already told you Bill Clinton is the projected winner there with 46% of the vote. George Bush, 32%. Ross Perot got more than 20%.
Yeah, with 15% reported. Here, just a trickle of votes in Washington State. Bill Clinton out to an early lead.
In the race for mayor in Portland, it's Vera Katz with a 20 percentage point lead over Earl Blumenauer. 27% of the precincts reporting there.
The first congressional district race. Here, an important one, a close one even now. Elizabeth Furs, though, out in front. Maybe the year of the woman will help her over the top tonight. 15% of the precincts reporting.
Here are some of the measures statewide. This measure would increase taxes on businesses, supposedly to pay for schools. Right now, it's being defeated, but it's early. Only 4% of the precincts reporting.
One of 14 states, Oregon is trying to pass a term limit measure. It looks like this has something of a lead here, almost 2-1 in the early going.
On the triple trailer rig ban, measure number 4, there we go. Yes votes, 43%. No votes, 57%. This will be one to watch. It's still early.
Attempt to close Trojan. There are 2 of those on the ballot tonight. First one is Measure 5. Early returns here. We'll show you that in just a moment. It was 7% of the precincts reporting. It's a dead heat between the yeses and the nos.
Not a lot of money was spent on Measure 5, but boy, Soloflex founder Jerry Wilson sure spent a lot of money on Measure number 6. Right now, yes votes, 52%. No votes, 48%, with 7% of the precincts reporting.
Measure 9, as we told you, 73 to 27%. And our exit polls tell us that when all the votes are counted, it will be defeated. We aren't able to say by what margin yet.
Again, Measure 7, the split roll tax. Yes votes, 35%. No votes. That is being defeated.
New numbers here quickly. In Measure 5, attempt to close Trojan. It's passing at this hour.
Measure number 6, that's passing as well.
Triple trailer ban, triple truck trailer ban. Let's make it even harder. The no votes are ahead here.
And term limits. Oregon is one of 14 states across the country that is voting on whether to limit their terms in office.
We have new numbers now in the U.S. Senate race. It seems to be even tighter now. Less than 2,000 votes separating KOIN and Bob Packwood.
And in the first congressional district race, Elizabeth Furs is ahead with 53% of the vote. Tony Meeker, former state treasurer, has 47%.
Second district, Bob Smith appears in the early going on his way to return to Washington, D.C., leading the professor, Denzel Ferguson.
Over in the third district, Ron Wyden has a big lead right now. Again, only 8% of the precincts reporting.
And in the fifth district, of course, fourth district, first Peter DeFazio on his way to being reelected as a congressman from Oregon's 4th district, 16% of the precincts.
Mike Kopetsky wants to go back to Congress, and right now it looks like he's doing very well with 18% of the precincts reporting. He's ahead.
We have a few more numbers now from Washington State. They still indicate Bill Clinton, the leader there. George Bush with 34%, Ross Perot with 17%.
If you live in Washington, you're picking a governor tonight. Bruce Gardner stepping down. Mike Lowry is leading with 53% of the vote.
Big turnout in Seattle today, so many they even caused a traffic accident. Patty Murray has the lead, and according to CBS, based on their exit poll, she will be elected senator from the state of Washington.
Here are some of the ballot measures in Washington. Another measure to limit politicians' terms in office. This is yes votes, 58%. It's only 1% of the precincts reporting, however.
Here is an attempt to place a cap on campaign spending in Washington State, but it's being defeated at this hour again very early. Probably a lot of urban votes from Seattle here in this number.
Let's come on back down to Oregon, where the Secretary of State's race shows Phil Kiesling out ahead by about a 2-1 margin, with only 4% of the precincts reporting.
State treasurer tonight, we'll see the first non-white elected to a statewide Oregon office. Jim Hill has the early lead over David Chan.
And in the Attorney General's race, Ted Kulin-Goskey, remember he ran for governor a few years ago. He has 66% of the vote. Rich Rodeman is coming in second with 29%.
Elizabeth Furs, new numbers here. That race appears to be tightening a little bit, but she has the lead early on with returns. Most of these, again, would be Multnomah County and some urban areas. where she is expected to do very well. Tony Meeker will probably pick up more support from outside those urban areas as the night goes on. We'll see.
Lisa Balick has a busy night. She's with all the Democrats over at the Hilton Hotel. Yes. And I think maybe she's got some information on Elizabeth Furs. Lisa?
Shirley, we're going to need some earplugs here before the evening's over. Let's go ahead and have Elizabeth Furs join us down here. So far, you're pretty excited about these numbers, aren't you?
They're very exciting. It's early. We're very cautiously optimistic, but we're real thrilled about them because I think they show that there's a real mandate for change in this country, and my race is just part of that mandate.
Now, these early numbers are primarily from Multnomah County, which is part of your district.
Yes.
We're still waiting for a lot of the outside roll numbers. You expect a lot of changes there?
I think that it might change a little bit, but I think it'll stay pretty consistent. We won't know till a little later in the evening with the outlying counties, but we expect strong support in those counties, so we're excited and very, very happy about those early returns.
Elizabeth Furs, thanks very much. Elizabeth Furs is a woman who would like to be the first congresswoman to represent Oregon in 17 years. Back to you, Mike and Shirley.
Thank you, Lisa. And Ms. Furs doesn't have any political experience. She's an Oregon vintner, farmer, up in down in Yamhill
Political
County.
activist, certainly involved in organizing political movements, but she never run for office. In fact, this is about the, what did you say, 9th time that she's voted in an election.
She doesn't want to talk about that, though.
We're going to have more numbers for you and more interviews as our coverage of Campaign 92 continues here in Newsroom 6. Stay with us.
Right now, while she's spreading that thick and luscious jam, she's probably not thinking that it tastes fresher because it's made with more choice, plump raspberries, or that more berries means less pectin than the leading brand. And that's okay. She can just keep on savoring its natural goodness, and we'll keep it coming, and always for a little less, because it's President's Choice. Exceptional products made affordable. At Fred Meyer, for people who love great food and lower prices.
3 fabulous days of gourmet food, holiday gifts, and fun. It's Portland's annual Holiday Food and Gift Festival at the Oregon Convention Center this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A holiday wonderland filled with nearly 500 displays to shop and sample. Unique holiday gifts, decorations, and gourmet food sampling, plus fun and entertainment for the whole family. Celebrate the opening of the holiday season and shop early at the Holiday Food and Gift Festival, Friday through Sunday at the Oregon Convention Center. You'll love it.
The American dream is alive and well. You'll find the American spirit in the way we work, the way we play, and in all of Shiloh Inn's people, dedicated to offering you affordable excellence in the American tradition of hospitality.
We'll have heavy precipitation today and tomorrow.
Freeze again tonight. If you're going outside, whoop, you better bundle up.
Rained half an inch over the past 24 hours, and that's just the beginning, partner.
It'll be cold and wet, and in the mountain passes, snow and ice.
Tomorrow's forecast, crappie. The rest of the week, crappie. Turning to traffic, it's a mess out there.
Cold and windy, lots of black ice on the road. Yes, sirree, Bob, it is nasty outside.
Last time we looked at the Portland mayor's race, Vera Katz had about a 20 percentage point lead over Earl Blumenauer. Let's see if those numbers have changed any. No, she still holds that lead, now with 30% of the precincts reporting. So not an insurmountable lead, certainly, but a healthy one at this point.
That's bigger than she had in the primary.
Yes, bigger than her margin of victory in the primary.
Craig Cheatham is standing by at Kells in southwest Portland with Earl Blumenauer, who, as we said, is behind. Craig, is it too early to talk concession?
Yes, it is, Shirley, but Commissioner Blumenauer is with his wife on the stage, and he is talking to volunteers right now. He is, as you mentioned, losing by a 60-40 margin. A little bit over a quarter of the precincts reporting. He's not ready to talk about it. Not ready to talk consolation speech, but he gave them a pep talk, and basically what he told them is that he is discouraged by what he's seen at the polls so far, but you know, he's willing to hang in there. He gave them a pep talk about how much he appreciated their help. He handed out 3 different awards, one to finance director, another to chairman of the steering committee. And again, it's at this point they're cautiously optimistic, but as one campaign aide told me just a few moments ago, they are betting actually on Vera Katz to win at this point. It's still too early to tell, but those election results do not look good for Commissioner Blumenauer. He seems to suggest that, and we're going to give him try and get a quick comment from him right now if we can. Commissioner, I'd like to ask you a quick question if we can.
Sure.
Some people think that this is an insurmountable lead. How do you approach it at this point? How long will it take for you to decide that the race is over?
Well, the race is over. It's just a case of what the results are. It may well be insurmountable. I don't know at this point. I just want to express my appreciation to people here and thank people in Portland for really what was a positive and heartwarming experience, and I think it was good for the city.
When it comes down to it, what do you think is the deciding factor between you and Vera Katz?
I'll leave that to the experts afterwards. We ran a good campaign, and I think I expressed with my head and my heart what I believed in, and I feel good about it. And we'll let people in the next few days sort out what happened and why.
Are you conceding right now?
I'm acknowledging that it looks like we're behind. We'll find out what happens.
Are you conceding?
I haven't seen the numbers yet. I think we're behind. It'll be a long shot to pull it off.
It's 60-40, 27% of the precincts reporting.
Yeah,
Can you overcome that?
Be hard to do.
Are you conceding?
Should I? Do you want me to?
No, I'm asking. Are you? All right. Obviously, Earl Blumenauer.
What do you think, Cal? How often does that happen?
I don't know. I haven't been interviewed by a city commissioner in a while. He's clearly keeping up his sense of humor, obviously not willing to concede at this point, and obviously not ready for that type of questioning. He's hoping to hang in there, hoping he can overcome what at this point is a 60-40 lead by Vera Katz. We'll keep a pulse on it, but several campaign aides have told me it's a very big challenge, and quite frankly, even though they're proud of the campaign, they don't really feel like they're going to come out on top tonight. Let's go back to the booth.
So they're conceding if the commissioner isn't. Thank you, Craig Cheatham, reporting from Kel's Irish Pub.
You almost hate to see anybody losing that race because it really was one of the few clean campaigns. And as you say, they had some 40 joint appearances. They talked the issues.
Stuck to the issues, but you can't argue with this right now. 30% of the precincts reporting. Vera Katz a 60-40 lead, as Craig Cheatham just reported.
But Earl Blumenauer is not going to concede yet.
Well, all but. He's right there on the edge.
Not quite. Do we have some more numbers? I think we have some more citywide numbers. Actually, this is Washington County District Court. Donald Latourneau has 50% right now. Arnold Polk, 28%. This is with 26% of the precincts reporting.
Over at Gresham, city council position there, Gail Cerveni is in the lead over Jack Gallagher. He's the incumbent, so maybe an upset here.
They've got quite a few city council position seats open over there. L. Barton Mullins has 64% of the vote. Bob Wiggin trailing.
Here's position number 3. Again, only 6% of the precincts reporting. Kathy Keithley out ahead of Frank Gerhardt. Also, Lloyd Culbertson doing well.
And position number 4, Chris Bortano, right now is leading over the incumbent, Joy Haverkamp.
And position number 6, Dave Eichner has the early lead over Jack Adams. Adams, again, the incumbent, so maybe we're outsiders turning out the insiders this time.
Over in Lake Oswego, there are 3 candidates right now for city councilor, and it is tight. Mary Puskas is leading.
Look at 2 other candidates there at Lake Oswego for city councilor. This is Milwaukee, council position number 1. Rick Farley has the lead over William Fitzgerald. Again, only 12% of the precincts reporting.
And again, maybe we can go to Jim Moore right now to talk a little bit about the mayor's race.
Right.
60-40. Is it insurmountable for Earl Blumenauer?
No, it's not insurmountable. Remember, we've been giving the magic number is you need to get above 50% of the precincts. But a 20% lead, a 60-40 lead, is a lot to overcome this early, or at this point. I mean, a third of the votes have been counted. I think Earl has the right attitude. Yes, I'm going to say that we're behind right now, but I'm not going to concede yet because who knows? Both of them are strong in different parts of the city. all those parts may not have reported in
We're
yet.
seeing women win everywhere tonight. Any indication yet in that particular race how women voted between Blumenauer and Katz?
No, we don't have that information. As a matter of fact, our exit polling didn't ask what happened in the mayor's race. But we'll be able to look at that later on and put some things together and find it out.
Could we say that, to put you on the spot here.
Okay, go for it.
Could we say that women are voting heavily Democratic tonight for the Democratic Party?
Yes, we can say that, looking at our Oregon results, and I would imagine nationwide that the gender gap that we really saw in 1988, where women supported Democrats overwhelmingly, will stay that wide, which was about 7 to 8%, maybe even increase in some races. We'll look very closely for that, especially in our Senate race between Packwood and KOIN.
Vera Katz did not do as well in the primary. What do you think might have changed between then and now?
Well, I think that we can see that, especially when we look at the other races, for instance, in the Gresham races, it seemed the incumbents were having a bit of a problem early on. Vera Katz is many things, but she hasn't been involved in city government. We're at the end of 8 years of Bud Clark. Earl Blumenauer has been a large part of that. We may be seeing a feeling that change is what we need to go for across the board.
We need to take a break right now, but as Jim mentioned, one of the races that's too close to call right now is that one between Lessa KOIN and Bob Packwood. So when we come back, we'll try to get some new numbers on that race. Stay with us.
I have this lucky bird. Her name is Wanda. She's from Kenya. And she talks to me. She gives me numbers. 7, 22, 15, 31, 50. Thank you, Wanda.
Ah, the halibut. One of the best fish of the sea, and only $18.95.
Halibut, we've got a special catch at Skipper's for just $3.99. You get our tender halibut, fresh baked or golden fried, served with coleslaw and baked potato or fries, just $3.99 for a limited time.
Did I mention it comes with tartar sauce?
Skipper's. Get good seafood without getting soaked.
KOIN TV's election night coverage is brought to you in part by these proud sponsors: Soloplex, Shiloh Inn, and the Oregon Lottery.
Welcome back to the newsroom and our coverage of Campaign 92. One of the top stories tonight is the defeat of ballot measure 9, the anti-gay rights measure. Let's take a look at the numbers right now as they stand. Yes votes, 43%, no votes, 57%. This is with 23% of the precincts reporting, and based on exit polling, that measure has been defeated.
Oregonians tonight are being asked whether commercial businesses should pay a higher property tax than residential taxpayers. The vote is no, overwhelmingly right now, with just 7% of the precincts reporting.
Oregonians voted on 2 measures to close Trojan. This is the one that didn't raise a lot of money. That is being defeated right now. 8% of the precincts reporting.
Measure 6 also losing. This is a turnabout from an earlier return we gave you. Now we have 7% of the precincts reporting.
Okay, measure number 4, to ban triple trailer rigs. Yes votes, 41%, no votes, 59%.
term limits. Is that the one you just got? I was
No,
looking
you go ahead
ahead.
with term
okay.
limits.
Term limits. Oregon, one of 14 states trying to place term limits on their office holders, and it's passing by a 2-to-1, better than 2-to-1 margin.
Here's measure number 1, which is the Parks bond measure referred by the legislature. This would amend the Constitution and issue bonds for parks and greenways. Right now, that is just neck and neck.
Here's another one, though. Do Oregonians want their fuel taxes to pay for parks? And they are saying overwhelmingly no to that, with 7% of the vote in.
There's a measure to ban gillnet fishing in the lower Columbia River. Right now, the no votes are 63%. Very early returns.
It's measure 8, and we've been told that Bill Clinton is preparing to make a speech, probably a victory speech, since he's been declared the winner of that presidential race. We'll be going there in about 10 or 15 minutes. The network also, a little later, will be updating us on races nationwide that I know some of you are interested in.
But right now, Norma Paulus and Harry Lonsdale, who have been interesting analysts for us, are standing by with Eric Schmidt. Eric?
Harry Lonsdale and Norma Paulus have both been working the phones here at our election desk inside the Hilton Hotel, in between screams of victory from the Clinton party. Harry, I know you've been very interested in ballot measure 9, and now that the percentages are beginning to come a little bit closer together, that's something that you feel more comfortable with. You didn't think it was going to be defeated by a large margin, did you?
No, when it had it, what, 2-to-1, going down to defeat 2-to-1, I didn't believe it. Now it's, what, 57-43. That's a lot more believable. I just hope it stays there and we don't lose any ground. I have a couple of friends in LeGrand, Jack and Lois Barry, and they told me earlier in the week that if either George Bush won or ballot measure 9 won, they're moving to Canada. So Jack and Lois, you don't have to move.
Let's hope it stays that way, indeed. I know that you've been watching ballot measure 9. In fact, you had a demonstration outside your office the week before the election. Are you surprised that it's going to be defeated? You were worried earlier this evening.
Well, I was very worried that the margin would be very, very close. And the polls had showed that it was going to go down, but the margin was so slim over the weekend that I couldn't count on that myself, because I thought there were a lot of closet voters, and Harry and I were talking about this on this issue. So I'm just so relieved that it's going down. I think that would have been just a terrible thing that had happened to this state.
Now, as a Republican, Lon Mabon and the OCA have made it quite clear they're not happy with Craig Berkman, the current party chairman. And in January, his term expires and a new party chairperson will be selected. Are we going to see a dogfight at that party conclave?
Well, I don't know. I don't know whether Craig is going to run again, but from my perspective, I think Craig is the best party chairman that the Republicans have had for as long as I've been involved in government. He's done more to get a positive message out, and he has been such a strong advocate for moderation and more of the things that the Republican Party in this state used to stand for.
Is he going to take a lot of the blame for what's happening to Republicans in this state tonight, or what might happen to Republicans?
I don't think so. I think that President Bush has only himself to blame, not only because he couldn't get his campaign together, but when he let the Republican Party platform be cornered and himself cornered by the right wing and didn't move out of that, he just left so many Republicans with no place to go.
And now the Oregon Republican Party is at least in a position where the right wing could take over.
Well, it has held most of the precinct spots, and that's been true now for several years. But what I see happening in Oregon is more and more independents. We saw that tonight. More and more people are deserting both the Democratic and the Republican Party.
A lot of independents.
This state is not very partisan unless you get into the legislature, and then it's extremely partisan. So I think you're going to see more minor parties flourishing
Okay, let's talk about some of the other ballot measures that are of interest tonight, particularly number 3, which is the term limitation measure. You, as the anti-incumbent candidate for Senate for the last couple of years, have a vested interest in it.
I do, Eric, and it looks like it's winning handily. I guess it was projected to win. I'm delighted to see that. Frank Eisenzimmer, I think, did a good job in getting it on the ballot and getting it passed. In fact, I spoke out in favor of ballot measure 3 several times at Frank's invitation. It's what we need. It's the Perot movement all over again. It's time to get some fresh blood back in Washington. If I could go back to your earlier question to Norma about Craig Berkman's situation. You know, we Democrats, and now we are partisan here, Norma. We Democrats tend to fight with one another all the time. We see the Republicans as sort of a monolith. They're always together. They always vote the same way. Maybe that's changing. Maybe, in fact, the Republicans are going to have a food fight, too.
Wasn't it Will Rogers that said, I belong to no organized political party. I'm a Democrat. Right. Now we can say that's true of the Republicans.
I wanted to add just an addendum to Harry's comment about the term limitations. I also voted for it, and has told people that for the last 2 years that I would support it. The real issue is to get a handle on PACs and get a handle on campaign spending, campaign finance. And several of us have been trying to do that in this year, but it isn't a real sexy issue. So in light of not being able to get true campaign finance reform on our statutes, in our books, in this state, I opted for term limits. If you can limit the governor, treasurer, and secretary of state to 2 terms, why should you let someone go in the Senate and stay there till they, you know,
Just one last question. Isn't Oregon going to be at a severe disadvantage in the seniority system in the United States Congress with term limitations? Only 40% of the states have done this.
Right. It looks like it'll pass in most states. It's on the ballot, I think, in 14 states. It's already passed in 3. That'll be 17 states. That's about a third of the country. And it may turn out to be a constitutional amendment. I mean, the Congress may finally see the light and say, let's put it to the voters.
I think this election has really pushed us that way.
Absolutely.
We have definitely changed some directions around here. We have to change ours and go back to the studio. Mike and Shirley?
Thank you. We enjoyed that discussion between Harry Lonsdale, Norma Paulus, and Eric Schmidt.
Harry's dying to have a food fight, isn't he?
Yeah, get him a plate.
Somehow, tonight we will have a food fight. We have a wave of new numbers that are pouring into our computer right now, and I think you're going to be surprised. There's a change in the U.S. Senate race. Right now, Bob Packwood is leading. He has 52% of the vote. This now is with 21% of the precincts reporting. KOIN behind with 48% of the vote.
Look at Measure 9 now. This race had tightened up to about 53-37. Here's the latest figures now, 56-44. It's even closer than it was before. Again, though, our exit polls are projecting that when all the votes are counted, no votes will win. The important thing here, though, as Norma Paulus indicated, is the margin.
Exit polling also declaring Bill Clinton the winner in Oregon. Right now, he has 44% of the tabulated vote. George Bush, the incumbent, behind with 33%.
Here's how the Washington voters are casting their ballots for president. Clinton widening his lead now over George Bush with 12% of the precincts in.
And in the mayor's race, Earl Blumenauer may be a little bit closer to making a concession. Let's take a look at the numbers. Vera Katt still with 60% of the vote. Earl Blumenauer still with 40%.
Third of the vote in there. In the race for 1st District Congress, this is one everybody's watching. Still very early, only 15% of the precincts reporting, but Elizabeth Furse clinging to that 6 percentage point lead.
Can we jump into Jim Moore real quickly on that and just ask you, is that another situation with Packwood and KOIN that the Furse and Meeker race? Could that switch around?
Yeah, although remember, since the first precincts that we see are generally going to be more urban, the urban area in the 1st District is the traditionally Republican area of Washington County. So this may be actually a very good sign for Elizabeth Furse. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out.
Back again to that term limits measure, the one that Harry Lonsdale and Norma Paulus were discussing. We saw, can we look at those numbers once again? We had them just a moment. There they are, okay. Measure 7. Well, that's the split roll tax, and it's being defeated by a wide margin early on.
Okay, now we'll see the term limits measure number 3 in Oregon. Yes votes 69%, no 31%.
It's a runaway truck, you might say. 7% of the precincts reporting on the triple truck trailer ban, and it is losing as well.
The 2 measures to close Trojan are 5 and 6, and right now, number 5 is being defeated. 8% of the precincts reporting.
And so is Measure 6, just about the same margin, so all the money apparently didn't make any difference, at least in these early returns.
Getting interesting, isn't it?
It certainly is. Yeah, some races yet to be decided tonight, so we hope you'll hang with us. We've got more from Newsroom 6 on Campaign 92.
KOIN TV's election night coverage is brought to you in part by these proud sponsors: Soloplex, Shiloh Inns, and the Oregon Lottery.
How do you measure the warmth and sincerity of a smile or a feeling of true friendship? How do you express a dedication to cleanliness and comfort? How do you define the meaning of real value? Well, at Shiloh Inns, you can experience these traditions every day in the spirit of Shiloh's people, waiting to welcome you across America's western states. The spirit of Shiloh Inns, affordable excellence.
The work is strenuous, yet easy and safe. The machine is quickly altered for each of its 32 exercises, and its elegant design assures that your development is balanced and proper in form. The work is efficient, each stroke productive in both directions. And with a small, consistent commitment of your time, your body changes. Soloflex, now only $39 a month. Call for a free brochure.
The secret to my success is Al. Ever since I've been married to him, I just get more lucky all the time. He started these numbers first, then I kind of swiped them from him, started playing them. I have just one lucky charm, and he's sitting here. I don't know if he agrees. Yes, I'd loan Al out for a day or two.
You're watching KOIN TV, Channel 6.
Oregon's legislature is up for grabs tonight, too. In the Senate races, the Democrats right now hold an advantage 20 seats to 10 seats. Republicans hoping to cut into that tonight. The Democrats would like to maybe widen it on this night of the Democrats.
It'll be the first time Republicans have had control since the 1950s, so they've been waiting a long, long time. Let's go to some of our latest numbers right now in the Oregon Senate races. Here's the 2nd District. Stan Bunn is leading by about a 2-to-1 margin in District 2.
District 6, we see Dick Springer here with an early lead over John Strand, an incumbent Democrat holding his seat in early returns.
In the 7th District, with early returns coming in, Shirley Gold, the incumbent, is hanging on to her lead, 79%.
Battle between the newcomer and the old veteran. Bill McCoy, though, has a 10% lead over the Republican Michael Fitz.
Republicans are spending a lot of money trying to unseat him. In the 10th District, incumbent Ron Cease is leading with only 8% of the precincts reporting.
John Lim, speaking of spending money, John Lim spent a lot of money, but it may be paying off, at least in early returns. He holds a better than 2-to-1 lead over Ruth McFarland.
Okay, in the 11th District, of which you just did, Measure 9. Here we go. Measure 9. Yes votes 44%, no votes 56%. Exit polling has already projected that that measure has been defeated.
Narrow margin, though, 12%. Earlier, Marcia Coffey gave us some reaction from the No on 9 headquarters. Let's go back there and see if any moods have changed. Marcia?
The crowd is just really boisterous out here, Mike and Shirley. They're very excited about the turn of events tonight. I'm talking to both gay and straight people out here. Huge crowd at Montgomery Park for the celebration No on 9 tonight. These people are telling me that they're very proud of Portland, that Portland, in their words, has voted against discrimination. They also are crediting the OCA with bringing them all together tonight. They say they wouldn't have met if it hadn't been for the OCA, which is a very interesting point of view. With me here is a gay man who's proud of it. His name is Donnie Blodgett. And Donnie, I brought you here to tell us your reaction from the point of view of a gay man.
Well, I'm really glad that I was here to support No on 9. And
did you ever have any doubt that it would fail?
No, never. I never had any of that doubt at all. I feel that I'm here to support Oregon, and we made it. We did it. No on 9, big time.
Do you think this sends a message to the OCA?
Who knows? I really feel it did, and sorry, it'll never happen again.
There have been a lot of hard feelings during the course of this campaign, a lot of vandalism, threats on both sides. Do you think that it has been an unhealthy debate?
Very unhealthy. I think that we're all people, we're all human beings that belong in the state of Oregon and the America, you know, of the United States, and I'm just happy to be here.
All right. Thanks, Donnie, very much. And there you have it. Lots of excited people. Mike and Shirley.
Thanks, Marcia. Marcia Coffey at No on 9 headquarters, where they have been projected the winner tonight.
Right. Based on exit polling, that measure has been defeated. Here are the tabulated votes so far. Yes votes, 44%. No votes, 56%. And we've got 23% of the precincts reporting.
Earlier, Sandy James talked with Lon Mabon out at the Wilsonville headquarters of OCA. Lon was not ready to concede, and Sandy, I wonder if that's changed. Sandy James?
Not at all, Mike. That has not changed. I'm with Scott Lively now, who is the communications director of OCA. And Scott, you're not willing to concede yet, are you?
No, this is still very much a winnable race.
Measure 9 is affected by geographic factors probably more than any other measure. As we leave the precincts that are closest to the center of the metropolitan areas and head out into the rural areas, we get a greater and greater percentage of yes votes. And for example, in 1988, on Measure 8, the gay rights measure at that time, we started out in the mid-20s, and we climbed through the night and ended up with 53%. This time we started out in the low 30s. So if it holds true to that trend, then we have a winner here. But we're just going to have to wait and see.
What kind of message do you think this is sending to the people, regardless, because you're already ahead of where you were then at this time last year?
The message is that the people of Oregon do not want the militant gay rights movement, this very powerful special interest lobby, to continue to have the kind of influence that it has over our public officials and over our school districts. And that regardless of how this comes out, we are going to continue to push to get this special interest group out of the government, out of the schools, and get back to treating this issue on the way that it ought to be treated, as a basic common sense measure, that you don't promote a lifestyle that is unhealthy and abnormal.
Were you surprised by how this has divided our state? It's divided families. I spoke to many people earlier tonight who husband and wife were separated on the issue, and very heatedly so.
Well, this is what happens when you take an issue of this type of importance to people. That it also points out that we are in a state that is almost capitulated to the gay rights agenda. And when we stepped forward and started to take this on, a lot of people had already given up. And then as we grew stronger and stronger and stronger, they realized, hey, maybe this can be won, and they started coming on board in larger numbers. And so I think that if this does go down and we come back with a second modified measure, I think that we'll start out stronger than we peaked in this campaign. But I still think it's very winnable, and at the very least, we are much, much stronger in these numbers than any of the polls had predicted. And I understand one other station had already counted us out at 35%. So I think we're doing very well.
Thank you very much for your time. Obviously not willing to concede at this point in time. Back to you.
Thanks, Sandy. Sandy James at OCA headquarters in Wilsonville. We would stress that exit polls have been wrong. They do disagree with Scott Lively. They say that Measure 9 will lose. He still believes it can win.
Especially on this one. I don't know how you feel, but if you walked out of your polling place and somebody asked you with their notepad, did you vote yes on 9? I don't think very many people would tell the truth. Do you?
Well, it's hard to say. I don't know. That's a big question mark.
Well, Scott Lively and Lon Mabon from Measure 9 say there's still a chance. Jim Moore, our political analyst, do you think there is a chance? We've already projected that has been defeated.
Right. Once again, on these, I won't feel comfortable until we have about 65% of the precincts in. I would tend to agree with Scott Lively and Lon Mabon that it's still early. However, the indications are that it's not getting much closer, that this will probably be around a 60-40, 57-43 kind of race. So as we go along, it does get more and more distance that the yes group will win.
As you break down the exit poll, what is it saying about how people voted on Measure 9?
Well, what we're seeing is that by gender, of the men who voted, it was 57% voted no and 43% voted yes. Notice that when we look at the women who voted, 10% going either way. 10% more voted no, 10% fewer voted yes. So women tended to go for the no on 9 idea. 2 to 1. 2 to 1 among women. When we look at some of the other things here, especially religion. Now, in religion, we can't get precise enough to find out specific churches. But overall, remember that the archbishops and the hierarchy of the Catholic Church came out with a very early, strong no on 9 message. It seems that among the Catholic community, that has carried 2 to 1 voting no. Of the Protestants, and this more looks at mainline Protestants, the Presbyterians, the Episcopalians, the Lutherans, a much narrower margin, the Methodists, a much narrower margin, but the no on 9 has a strong lead. The other Christian, and it's not just Christian, it's other Christians. So we're picking up people who feel that they're in an evangelical group, or we're picking up the Mormons. They have gone on the yes side. However, what we find is that they're in about 20% of the total voting population. So by religion, it looks like the leadership of the mainline Protestant churches and the Catholic Church help carry their congregations to a no vote.
Okay. Thank you, Jim Moore, for putting that vote in perspective. Again, these are exit poll answers to exit poll questions that were asked of thousands of people earlier today. I'm losing my tongue
I
here.
know, it's easy. It's easy to do on this night, believe me. Let's check in to see how Ron Wyden is doing in his quest to keep his job in Congress. We have some new numbers in the 3rd District. Ron Wyden is having no problem right there with Al Ritter, but of course 8% of the precincts are reporting. Al Ritter is the darkroom technician. Wyden wants his 7th term.
And of course, the Hilton tonight is the headquarters for the Democrats, enjoying the victories tonight that they've been told of so far. Eric Schmidt is over there in the middle of the Democrats. Eric?
Like a lot of other 40-year-old plus gentlemen, Ron Wyden pulled out his reading glasses to see those numbers on the screen. I know exactly how you feel, Congressman. This has to be a pretty good victory for you. 84%, probably going to get a little bit wider. This was a walk this year. What's going to happen next time, do you think?
Well, I really want to thank the people of the 3rd District. We've always tried to run an effort that's at the grassroots, focusing on creating jobs and health care reform, and I'm just very honored to be able to go back to Congress.
The networks waited until about 8 minutes before 8 o'clock to call the race. Are you gratified by what happened with the projection on the network level as far as the elections and the polls closing on the West Coast?
I think it came together very well this year. The fact that Perot was doing well in a number of states, I think, contributed to the fact the networks held off. And I really want to commend the regional affiliates, and KOIN, of course, worked with us for holding off, because I think the message is really getting out that there's nothing more important than participating in democracy, and I think we boosted it this year because the networks held off.
Are you going to take a look at some kind of legislation in the next term to maybe make this a less than voluntary proposition?
Well, I think there'll still be support for uniform poll closing legislation. I'm in favor of it, but top 2 priorities will be working with the new president to create family wage jobs, and then we need dramatic health care reform where we take on some of these insurance company ripoffs and drug company price gouging.
Congressman Ron Wyden, who has just been reelected to a 7th term in Congress.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Mike and Shirley. Apparently there's some action down in Little Rock tonight.
Yeah, we're going to be going there very soon, but I think first we've got some new numbers in the top measures.
Yeah, stay with us. Clinton's about to declare victory, but first we want to look at the latest returns we have on some local races. The first one
No, let's go to network.
Oh, there we are. This is Little Rock, Arkansas, where everyone is waiting, singing together, arms bound together as they wait for Bill Clinton to deliver his acceptance speech, elected President of the United States.
We're going to join that as soon as Clinton comes out. We have some new numbers to show you.
In the Senate race, first of all, this is one we'll be watching. It may not be decided tonight. It may be too close. Right now, with a quarter of the precincts reporting, Bob Packwood, the incumbent, with a narrow lead over Les KOIN.
Measure 9 again. That has been defeated, according to exit polling. Yes votes and the raw numbers, 44%. No votes, 56%.
Clinton, as he's won other states tonight, is winning Oregon by 11 percentage points over George Bush. Look at Ross Perot, 23% in Oregon.
That'll be a story we'll pursue tomorrow. Washingtonians are picking Bill Clinton. George Bush has 33%, and Ross Perot again. He's over that 20% magic number.
The Portland mayor's race, pretty well decided here. Only a third of the precincts reporting, but that's a big lead that Vera Katz has over Earl Blumenauer.
In the 1st District, let's see if Elizabeth Furs is still out ahead, and indeed she is. She has 53% of the vote right now, with 16% of the precincts reporting.
Here's our Measure 7 split roll tax, whether commercial businesses should pay more tax. Voters are saying no.
And term limits. 14 states total, including Oregon and Washington, are voting on term limits. Right now, that is passing, with 22% of the precincts reporting.
Oregon's the only state on the coast with triple trailers, and apparently that will continue to be the case if this should hold up. Although, again, I point out, only 7% of the precincts reporting.
Measure number 5, to close Trojan. This is the measure by Lloyd Marbett and Stephen Kafori as sponsors. That is being defeated. 16-point difference there, 10-point difference here. Also, no votes leading on Measure 6. Let's go to Jim Moore. Any observations on any of those races, Jim?
No, once again, we are seeing the Senate race really tighten up. That will continue through the evening. Interesting to look at Measure 5 and Measure 6, the two ones to close down Trojan. It appears that the difference between spending $40,000 for Measure 5 and spending about $2 million for Measure 6 only gets you 6% more of the vote. So we may see a good way to efficiently spend money or not to spend money in future ballot measures.
We're going to be going back to Little Rock, Arkansas very shortly, where the new President Clinton is expected to take his victory speech. That was Dan Rather. You saw hundreds and hundreds of people cheering and singing, holding hands.
They were celebrating even before the victory was proclaimed by the news services, which maybe made you think maybe they knew something. We mentioned earlier that maybe George Bush knew something because today he went out and bought a hunting license, a new fishing reel, and some country western tapes that apparently he's going to listen to. He'll have lots of time to do that now.
It's been a long, long campaign.
And a nasty campaign, as they both have said, yes.
Let's take a look at the latest numbers in the U.S. Senate race. Right now, Bob Packwood is still holding on to his lead. Early on, of course, we showed you that KOIN was leading. Right now, he's behind with 49% of the vote.
Nobody's calling that one, and no one's calling this one either. Elizabeth Furs with a 6 percentage point lead, still trickling in here, only 16% of precincts reporting.
And in the 2nd district, that huge 2nd district, Bob Smith, the incumbent, doesn't seem to be having any trouble with Denzel Ferguson.
And Ron Wyden beating the darkroom technician. Blair Bobier, also an environmental law specialist, losing to Wyden as he goes back for a 6th term.
In the 4th district, incumbent Peter DeFazio of Eugene has 73% of the vote.
Mike Kopensky, a rookie congressman this year, is a 2-to-1 lead over Jim Seagraves, the retired economics professor.
He's projected to win there. And for Secretary of State, the appointed incumbent, Phil Kiesling, is leading right now. Randy Miller behind with 41%.
Oregon's treasurer's race now has tightened up somewhat with 15% of the precincts reporting. David Chen trailing Jim Hill by only 6%.
And for Attorney General, let's see how Ted Kulingoski is leading right now by a 2-to-1 margin. Rich Rodeman close behind, and Fred Orther, the Libertarian candidate, coming in 3rd.
Everyone's eagerly awaiting Bill Clinton's acceptance speech, and we may get that for you, but we're going to take a break right now. Stay with us as our coverage of Campaign 92 on this election night continues.
The American dream is alive and well. You'll find the American spirit in the way we work, the way we play, and in all of Shiloh Inn's people, dedicated to offering you affordable excellence in the American tradition of hospitality.
Ah, the halibut. One of the best fish of the sea, and only $18.95.
Halibut, we've got a special catch at Skipper's for just $3.99. You get our tender halibut, fresh baked or golden fried, served with coleslaw and baked potato or fries, just $3.99 for a limited time.
Did I mention it comes with tartar sauce?
Skipper's. Get good seafood without getting soaked. The role of fathers is changing. They're getting more involved with their children, and that's good. But what is the definition of a good dad? What about fathers in divorce? What do we do about deadbeat dads?
Hi, I'm Eric Schmidt with Newsroom 6. These days it seems like everybody is talking about the need for kids to have father figures. Beginning Wednesday at 5, join me as we examine what it means to be a dad.
Make room for Daddy. An exclusive special report beginning Wednesday on Newsroom 6 at 5.
Arkansas is the capital of politics tonight. Big celebration going on.
Where Governor Bill Clinton, soon to be President Bill Clinton, is going to be making his victory speech. Let's listen in.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. My fellow Americans, on this day, with high hopes and brave hearts, in massive numbers, the American people have voted to make a new beginning. This election is a clarion call for our country to face the challenges of the end of the Cold War and the beginning of the next century. To restore growth to our country and opportunity to our people. To empower our own people so that they can take more responsibility for their own lives. To face problems too long ignored, from AIDS to the environment to the conversion of our economy from a defense to a domestic economic giant. And perhaps most important of all, to bring our people together as never before so that our diversity can be a source of strength in a world that is ever smaller, where everyone counts and everyone is a part of America's family. I want to begin this night by thanking my family, my wife, without whom I would not be here tonight, and who I believe will be one of the greatest first ladies in the history of this republic. I also want to say a special word of thanks to our daughter for putting up with our absence, for supporting our effort, for being brave in the face of adversity, and for reminding us every day about what this election is really all about. I want to thank my mother, my brother, my stepfather, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, my brothers-in-law, and my sister-in-law who carried this campaign across this country and stuck up for me when others were trying to put it down. I love them and I thank them. I want to thank the people of this wonderful small state. Time after time, when this campaign was about to be counted out, the Arkansas travelers exploded out of this state around the country to tell people the truth about what we had done here together, how we had pulled together, what we believed in, and what we could do as a nation. I had the best staff and cabinet you can imagine. They kept this state together, and even when we weren't here, we continued to lead the country in job growth, in keeping taxes and spending down, and in pulling the people of Arkansas together to show what we could do if the nation pulled together and moved forward too. I want to thank the people who were in that infamous group, the FOBs, the Friends of Bill and the Friends of Hillary. No person who ever sought this office was more aided by the friends of a lifetime, and I will never forget you. I want to thank the people in the new Democratic Party, headed by our chairman, Ron Brown, the new members of Congress, the new blood, the new direction that we are giving. And finally, I want to thank the members of my brilliant, aggressive, unconventional, but always winning campaign staff. They were unbelievable. And they have earned it. I want to say, if I might, a special word of thanks to two people who lost their lives in the course of this campaign, without whom we might not be here tonight. Our friends Paul Tully and Vic Razor, our prayers are with them. They're looking down on us tonight, and they're awful happy. Not very long ago, I received a telephone call from President Bush. It was a generous and forthcoming telephone call of real congratulations and an offer to work with me in keeping our democracy running in an effective and important transition. I want all of you to join with me tonight in expressing our gratitude to President Bush for his lifetime of public service, for the effort he made from the time he was a young soldier in World War II, to helping to bring about an end to the Cold War, to our victory in the Gulf War, to the grace with which he conceded the results of this election tonight in the finest American tradition. Let's give Mr. Bush and his family a hand. I heard tonight Mr. Perot's remarks and his offer to work with us. I say to you, of all the things that he said, I think perhaps the most important that we understand here in the heartland of Arkansas is the need to reform the political system, to reduce the influence of special interests and give more influence back to the kind of people that are in this crowd tonight, to the tens of thousands, and I will work with him to do that. And finally, let me say how profoundly indebted I am tonight, beyond the folks at home, beyond the wonderful people who worked in this administration, the Lieutenant Governor and others to keep our government going, beyond all the others, I have to say a special word of thanks to my magnificent running mate, Senator Al Gore, and his family. I want to tell you that Al and Tipper, Hillary and I have become friends. I admire them for what they stand for. They're enjoyable to be with. They believe in our country. Al Gore is a man of almost unparalleled combination of intelligence, commitment, compassion, and concern to the people of this country, to our obligation to preserve our environment, to our duty to promote freedom and peace in the world. And together, we're going to do our best to give you a new partnership for a new America. I want to thank Al's children, his brother-in-law, and his wonderful parents. They made about as many votes in some states as we did. I think we carried every state that Senator and Mrs. Gore campaigned in. Their percentage was the best of all. I want to say that we have established a partnership in this campaign that we will continue into this new administration. For if we have learned anything in the world today, it is that we can accomplish more by teamwork, by working together, by bringing out the best in all the people that we seek. And we will seek the best and most able and most committed people throughout this country to be a part of our team. We will ask the Democrats who believe in our cause to come forward. but we will look too among the ranks of independents and Republicans who are willing to roll up their sleeves, be a part of a new partnership, and get on with the business of dealing with this nation's problems. I remind you again tonight, my fellow Americans, that this victory was more than a victory of party. It was a victory for the people who work hard and play by the rules. A victory for the people who feel left out and left behind, but want to do better. A victory for the people who are ready to compete and win in the global economy, but who need a government that offers a hand up, not a handout. That is what we offer, and that is what tomorrow we will begin to work to provide to all of you. Today, the steel worker and the stenographer, the teacher and the nurse had as much power in the mystery of our democracy as the president, the billionaire, and the governor. You all spoke with equal voices for change. And tomorrow we will try to give you that. You can trust us to wake up every day remembering the people we saw in the bus trips, the people we saw in the town meetings, the people we touched at the rallies, the people who had never voted before, the people who hadn't voted in 20 years, the people who never voted for a Democrat, the people who had given up hope. All of them together are saying, we want our future back, and I intend to help give it to you. I say to all of those who voted for us, this was a remarkable coalition for change. Many of you had to put aside this or that personal ambition to be a part of a broad, deep commitment to change this country. I ask you to keep that commitment as we move from election to governing. We need more than ever, for those of you who said, let's put the public interest over personal interest, to keep it right there for 4 years so we can turn this country around. I say to all those who voted for Mr. Bush or Mr. Perot, those who voted for the president, those who voted for Ross Perot, I know you love your country too. I ask you to listen to the voice of your leaders. I ask you to join with us in creating a reunited state, a united country with a new sense of patriotism to face the challenges of this new time. We need your help too, and we will do our best to deserve it. When we seek to offer young people the opportunity to borrow the money they need to go to college and the challenge to pay it back through national service, when we challenge the insurance companies, the drug companies, the providers and the consumers, the government to give us a new health care system, when we offer those on welfare new opportunity and the challenge to move to work, when we ask companies to take the incentives we offer to put American people to work and export American products, not American jobs, all of this is a part of a new patriotism to lift our people up and enable all of us to live up to the fullest of our potential. I accept tonight the responsibility that you have given me to be the leader of this, the greatest country in human history. I accept it with a full heart and a joyous spirit. But I ask you to be Americans again, too. To be interested not just in getting, but in giving. Not just in placing blame, but now in assuming responsibility. Not just in looking out for yourselves, but in looking out for others, too. In this very place, 1 year and 1 month ago today, I said, we need more than new laws, new promises, or new programs. We need a new spirit of community. A sense that we're all in this together. If we have no sense of community, the American dream will continue to wither. Our destiny is bound up with the destiny of every American. We're all in this together, and we will rise or fall together. That has been my message to the American people for the past 13 months, and it will be my message for the next 4 years. Together, we can do it. Together, we can make the country that we love everything it was meant to be. I still believe in a place called hope. God bless America. Thank you all.
A victorious Governor Bill Clinton. New blood, a new direction, as he put it.
And now, I would like to ask Senator Gore to come up here and say a few words as we begin our new partnership for a new country. Please welcome him to the platform.
Thank you, President-elect Bill Clinton. For Tipper and me and our 4 children, this has been an extraordinary journey. I want to, first of all, thank Bill and Hillary and Chelsea, knowing of all the sacrifices they have made and the hardships they have endured. And I would like to thank the person who is most important in my life, Tipper Gore. To our four children, Corinna, Kristen, Sarah, and Albert, to my parents, Albert and Pauline Gore, and to my brother-in-law, Frank Hunger, I can never express the thanks that I feel in my heart. This has been a time of discovery, a time of restored dreams and renewed hope, a time when the strength and promise of America has revealed itself, poised to meet the challenges of a new day. None of this could have been possible for me without the people of the state of Tennessee, and I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart. I also want to thank the wonderful men and women on the staff who have helped us secure this victory, and I want to say to all of you who have helped us reach this moment that I look forward to the high challenges of national office, and I consider it a matter of tremendous honor and pride to work in behalf of Bill Clinton to be successful in leading this nation toward a new and brighter future. Bill Clinton spoke sensibly and honestly to the American people. As the attacks against him became more and more desperate, he remained calm. He believed in the American people and kept faith that hope would indeed triumph over fear. Bill Clinton won because he was willing to lose. He refused to mislead voters. He stuck to his beliefs. He asked for your vote by challenging you to make America better. Where I come from, we have a name for that. It's called character. Bill Clinton will govern this nation in the same way. He truly is a new generation of Democrat. He believes in the rights of people, but he believes in the responsibilities of citizens as well. Our government's policies must be changed. The promise of America depends upon a commitment that under freedom we will enable the strong to prosper, but we will not abandon those in need of help. While we give supreme value to the rights of the individual, we expect that freedom to be exercised with respect toward others and with decent restraint. We respect the values of community, and among them is our obligation to protect the environment in which we live. We feel good tonight having won an election, but think of how we're going to feel when we change a country. There is a sense of excitement and possibility this evening. We have won, and many of you will be able to tell your children about it one day. But if we change this country, if we restore it to greatness, then we will have given them something much greater than the memory of this evening. We will have restored the basic thread in the American dream, the responsibility of one generation to the next, we will have given them back their future. This election is not simply a change of leaders. It is a change of generation. For the first time, the executive office will be occupied by leaders born after World War II. I don't want to overstate the dimensions of this difference. After all, neither Bill Clinton or myself are as young as Teddy Roosevelt or John Kennedy when they took office, nor does that change of generations represent a difference of belief. We share, as did our predecessors, an unyielding commitment to the principles on which this country was established over 2 centuries ago. But we will bring a different perspective and a renewal of energy. We are the children of modern America, close to its desires and to its difficulties, charged with the exuberant optimism which so often characterizes a younger generation of leaders. And only the optimists, only those who believe that constructive change is within our powers can hope to achieve it, and we intend to accomplish that achievement. Although this is not the first time we have witnessed the elevation of a new generation of leaders, it is the first time that both candidates have come from the South. It is symbolically an expression of the reality that sectional wounds of the past are finally and irrevocably healed. We are one country now, and merit, not geography, will from this time forward be the only test for the highest offices our nation has. And we pledge to you to work toward the day when gender and race will also be totally irrelevant to the selection of our leaders. The deeper meaning of this election is our commitment to end the divisions in our nation. Those who helped us to win this victory represented an astonishing diversity of interests and opinions. They were willing to put aside those differences in pursuit of a common cause. Let us now bring the same spirit of accommodation which won this election to the far harder task of governing this nation. We all have a common stake in national growth, in justice, and in the strengthening of freedom. Surely, if we could bridge our differences for the sake of an election, we can put them aside on behalf of a far greater cause, the future of the American nation. The election is a mandate for change. It is good to remember that this election also affirms certain fundamental things about our lives together as Americans. We are still participants in a great experiment: the sovereignty of the people to rule themselves, the power to create and to destroy governments of persons elected from among them, and the idea that governments exist in order that citizens may exercise their inherent rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These are still the most radical political